I still can't do it. The thought of celebrating Halloween brings me feelings of guilt, sadness, and anger. I'm one of those people who leaves their porch lights off every year, but unlike many others, I have a reason. I've been changed. It started when I was 5. Every year I went trick-or-treating with a group of boys in my neighborhood. I remember us always wearing goofy costumes. We all tried to outdo each other, but one boy named Larry always seemed to have the best one. Eventually, we all stopped trick-or-treating in favor of Halloween parties, some in pursuit of girls and others just wanting to leave the house. Larry, however, trick-or-treated every year right up to our senior year of high school. His costume regressed far from his childhood standard. They hugged the curves of his acquired fat, bulging in certain places where the fabric wouldn't hold him. With each year, he also started bathing less. I remember one year in particular where I was handing out candy. He came to the door in slow, deliberate steps. A smile of childlike, expired glee stretched across his lips as he approached me in a stained clown costume. How he could have allowed himself to reach such a state baffled me. "What happened?" I asked in belief. "What's wrong with you?" "Nothing's wrong. I'm fine. As of late, I've been able to see the sweeter side of life." Larry rapaciously grabbed a few pieces of candy out of the orange bowl and left. He carefully inspected the candy, twirling it around in his fingers like it was gold. It bewildered me that other adults were oblivious to his erratic behavior. Not only did his condition sicken me, but it also led me to a grim realization. My childhood friend was gone. After that night, I didn't see too much of Larry. Occasionally, I or one of my friends would spot him wandering the school halls between classes, his face looking down while he muttered to himself. He didn't talk to anyone during that year, and more or less disappeared off my radar. 20 years later, I saw him again. By this time, I'd gotten a doctorate in psychology and settled down in a small town in Vermont. My wife dressed up and took my child trick-or-treating, while I stayed home and handed out candy. Kids dressed up in a myriad of costumes arrived at my door to collect their sweets. It was 9 p.m. when it happened. The night died down, and children were making their final rounds. Through the darkness, I saw an overweight, middle-aged man approaching my door. He was wearing that same clown outfit with worn shoes. Even with colorful makeup smeared on his greasy face, I would have recognized his features anywhere.
"Larry, what happened to you? Why are you here?" His eyes said it all. As he twiddled his thumbs and stared at me with blank eyes, I knew his expression was none other than that of a madman. Suddenly, he jerked the candy bowl out of my hands. Instead of asking for my bowl, I watched him walk away. He examined the candy in the same way he did 20 years earlier, turning over each piece and smiling in awe of his find. That night, I decided to do something no other mentally stable man would try. I followed him. Donning a black hoodie and jeans, I furtively crept half a block behind his every step with a flashlight. I began to tire once he had reached the interstate, his sluggish steps leading to an unknown destination. Slowly, he crept off of the side of the road until he walked into the woods. I tracked his path through the underbrush. The path I followed was clear. Only when I approached the building did I begin to fathom the scale of horror that Larry had been living in. Skimpy branches of wood served as weak supports to his haphazardly constructed shelter. His lopsided roof and walls were filled with what appeared to be candy bars. They were glued together by some unknown substance, gooey at the touch and layered for minimal amounts of security. After closely inspecting the outside, I precariously opened the door and lowered my head to enter his hovel. Dirty porcelain dolls sat in miniature chairs on the floor. A train set was scattered about along with an assortment of toys for young children. My flashlight was the only way I could visibly navigate the makeshift house. I was about to leave when out of the corner of my eye I spotted a hole with a ladder. After climbing down, I crawled through a dark tunnel. As I progressed, rotting bodies of young children appeared on either side of the path. The decomposing corpses created a vomit-inducing stench that made it hard for me to keep my composure. While every child was different in gender, race, and costume, they shared a common characteristic. All of them were disemboweled with candy resting in the shells of their abdomens. Further along the trail, I noticed the bodies of the kids began to change. Parts of their faces were composed entirely of chocolate or hard candy. When I touched them, they didn't move. It was almost as if the candy had become bound with their bodies. Soon I reached a clearing and saw Larry. He was eating candy out of one of the child's stomachs. Piles of wrappers surrounding him as ants crawled on him to reveal in the filth. The moment he saw me, he turned up to me and said these words before continuing his sick feast. "They took my candy." I never ran so fast from a place in my life. Luckily, I'd made it home before my wife and kids knew I was gone. When she asked about next year, I told her we were going to hold off. I'll never celebrate something that produces men like this. Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Corey.
And Nicole.
And we're from Sirens Studios. And we're doing another creepypasta review since it's the week of Halloween! This creepypasta is entitled Sweets.
How sweet it was.
Oh,
no, that's a lie. It wasn't sweet at all.
Oh, Nicole. We hope you enjoyed our reading of this creepypasta. And now, as every other review that we do, we're going to give you our opinions. And we ask not to take them too seriously. This is just for fun and a creepy little story for you guys to enjoy. So, Nicole, what did you think of it?
I actually kind of liked it. Main reason is it doesn't go towards anything supernatural or unexplainable. And I think that freaks me out the most in any horror movie or game. If you have a human being doing something that, it may be extreme, but it's sort of possible, and that just really freaks me out. It scares me because people are scary.
Because people are scary.
They are.
I'm more of the technique kind of person when it comes to looking at something. And I have to say that as well written as this creepypasta was, I wanted more build-up. I wanted to know more about this Larry kid. I can't imagine somebody that he's barely talked about in the beginning to become somebody like this. And
Right, like maybe heard stories about what his family does or how he lived.
or maybe just how unknown of a person he was in
Right.
reality would allow me to imagine that this kid would be able to become something like this.
Like he made him seem like they were close friends, but didn't mention too much about it.
Right. So if it was something like this kid just followed us around and it was just this creepy kid walking with my group of friends, I'd be able to understand that.
Right, because it's like an unknown factor there.
Right. Like if you were close with him, how could he be off your radar so quickly, you know? So as well written as this was, I just wish there was a little bit more build up. And that ending.
I don't know why these visuals got to me, but they did. I just kind of
They
like...
normally do with people. But why? Why so sudden? How did it come from this kid who was being creepy to this adult man who was being creepy to disemboweled children with
Also, Larry,
candy?
why did you move to Vermont where your childhood friend was at too? Why?
Yeah, that's kind of an issue for me as well. There could have been any other place.
Right.
Maybe if this character had actually explained how unbelievable it was, I would have been like, yes, it is kind of crazy. There are certain cliches that I can take, and there's certain cliches I cannot. And don't get me wrong, I love hearing about disemboweled children in a creepypasta, but it has to be used the right way.
Right.
I just feel that this was just thrown on there for a creepy effect. As much as it was nice to read, it's a quick one. There's just some certain features I can't get over. It's very American horror story-esque.
Yeah.
Reminds me of the newer season.
I wouldn't
Freak
doubt
Show.
if they went somewhere there with Freak Show.
Yeah, it
That
reminds me
clown,
of
though.
the clown. Yeah, so I'm not sure when this was written. Other than that, I think that they did a pretty good job.
Yeah, I mean, like, there have been worse, so
There have been
I guess
worse.
that's always a thing to keep in mind. There will always be worse.
Of course, I mean there's definitely been worse. We've filtered through enough bad ones to know.
Yeah.
But this one was it was a medium kind of story. It was in the middle. It wasn't too bad. Wasn't too great.
It was okay with me.
Yeah. It was one of the better Halloween ones, I think.
Because it's spoopy.
Because it's too spooky for you.
Too spoopy.
So, bravo to the writer. Is there any final words?
I'm still gonna eat a lot of candy.
Yeah.
I still will.
Yeah. Don't forget to fill up on all the candy and get super
But don't
hyper.
get tummy aches, though. You gotta take care of yourselves.
Yeah. No, get tummy aches. Get tummy aches. Eat all the candy. Steal all the candy. So I'm gonna give this creepypasta, if it was 1 out of 10, I'm gonna give it a 5. It was in the middle.
I was gonna say 7, which is, I guess, I can't go lower than 5 or 6 because I feel bad. Even if it sucks, I'll say 5. I'm a little generous with my ratings.
It certainly didn't deserve a 4, 3, 2, or 1. It was well written.
Okay.
So I'm gonna give it a 5, and Nicole gives it a 7.
Even it out 6. Or average it out. What am I saying?
So,
But yeah, there you go. That was sweets for you.
we'll link the creepypasta in the description below so you guys can read along with us. Or if you want to, just read it on your own and make sure to write what you think about this. Don't forget to comment. Nicole's hungry. You need candy. You need all the candy, Nicole. Don't forget to give this a like if you want to hear more creepypasta reviews from us. Subscribe if you want to hear more as well. And if you're just interested in fun Let's Builds in Minecraft, if you're interested in playthroughs of Fatal Frame, we've got it all.
We've got it for you.
So don't forget to subscribe. Check us out on our channel. We're on Twitter, Tumblr, and Facebook, so check us out there.
Yes.
Hashtag Sirens Studios for anything else that you want to show us, whether it be fan art, whether it be another comment, but you don't want to comment here. Nicole will be watching as always.
Always be watching. Watch your back. You guys are going to be trick-or-treating or watching a scary movie, and I'll be like, did you guys use the hashtag? Did you?
She'll be behind you at all times, so I wouldn't turn around right now. She might be there, you never know.
Oh, God.
So, I think that's it for us. Thank you for joining us in another creepypasta review.
Happy Halloween, everyone.
Happy Halloween! We'll see you guys next time. Bye!